The Sahara Desert, a vast ocean of sand, stretches across North Africa. It seems timeless, ancient, and unchanging. But this imposing desert holds a secret, a whisper of a time when things were very different. Imagine a place where, instead of endless dunes, lush greenery flourished. Picture a time when the roar of lions and elephants replaced the desert winds. This wasn't a mirage, but the reality of ancient Egypt thousands of years ago. The pyramids of Giza stand as silent sentinels, their imposing forms dominating the horizon. These monumental tombs are not merely relics of a bygone era, but testaments to the ingenuity and ambition of the ancient Egyptians. They whisper tales of pharaohs who ruled as gods on earth, commanding vast resources and legions of workers. These intricate carvings and paintings found within the pyramids and temples offer a glimpse into the lives of the people who built and inhabited this ancient civilization. We see scenes of daily life, farmers tending their fields, artisans crafting exquisite jewelry, and families celebrating festivals. These images reveal a society that was both complex and sophisticated. The ancient Egyptians were masters of astronomy, mathematics, and medicine. They developed a written language, a calendar system, and made significant advances in engineering and architecture. Their innovations, from papyrus paper to irrigation techniques, would influence civilizations for centuries to come. The story of Egypt doesn't end with the ancient world. It continues through the conquest of Alexander the Great, the rise of Islam, and the era of European colonialism. Each period has left its mark, adding layers to the rich tapestry of Egyptian culture and identity. Today, Egypt stands at a crossroads, grappling with the challenges of a rapidly changing world. Yet the spirit of innovation and resilience that defined ancient Egypt is still evident in the hearts of its people. From the bustling streets of Cairo to the tranquil banks of the Nile, Egypt continues to captivate the imagination and inspire awe. This is the story of a land shaped by its past and forever evolving. It is a journey through time, from the age of pyramids to the digital age, revealing a civilization that has constantly reinvented itself while remaining intrinsically connected to its ancient roots. Join us as we traverse the sands of time, exploring the epic journey of Egypt. The Nile River, a silver serpent winding its way through the desert, is the lifeblood of Egypt. It was along its fertile banks that ancient Egyptian civilization first took root. Each year, the Nile would overflow, depositing rich silt onto the land. This annual flood created a narrow band of fertile land, a green ribbon in an otherwise arid landscape. This predictable flood cycle shaped the rhythm of life in ancient Egypt. It dictated when farmers planted their crops, when they harvested, and when they celebrated the bounty of the land. The Nile was not just a source of water, it was a symbol of life, renewal, and the generosity of nature. From scattered tribes to mighty kingdoms, the rise of the Pharaohs. In the centuries before 3100 BC, small farming communities dotted the Nile Valley. Each had its own ruler, its own gods, its own customs. However, a shared language and culture hinted at a common origin. Gradually, these communities began to interact, forming alliances and engaging in trade. Over time, powerful leaders emerged, ambitious men who sought to expand their influence. They conquered neighboring villages, uniting them under their rule. The Old Kingdom, an age of pyramids and power. The Old Kingdom, spanning from approximately 2686 to 2181 BC, is often considered the golden age of ancient Egypt. It was during this era that the pharaohs consolidated their power, established a centralized state, and embarked on ambitious building projects that would leave an indelible mark on the world. The most iconic symbols of the Old Kingdom are undoubtedly the pyramids, colossal tombs built to house the mummies of pharaohs and their consorts. These massive structures, built with astonishing precision and engineering skill, reflect the pharaohs' absolute power and their belief in the afterlife. The Great Pyramid of Giza, built for the pharaoh Khufu, is the most impressive of these monumental tombs. Life in the shadow of the pyramids, farmers, craftsmen, and scribes. While the pharaohs ruled from their palaces and oversaw the construction of their monumental tombs, the vast majority of Egyptians lived simpler lives. They were farmers, craftsmen, and laborers, working tirelessly to support themselves and their families. Farmers made up the backbone of Egyptian society. They toiled in the fields along the Nile, cultivating crops such as wheat, barley, and flax. They used irrigation canals to water their crops during the dry season, ensuring a bountiful harvest. Their lives were governed by the rhythms of the Nile, and they celebrated the annual flood as a time of renewal and abundance. Around 2181 BC, the Old Kingdom began to crumble. A combination of factors, including weak pharaohs, droughts, and provincial governors vying for power, led to a period of instability and decentralization known as the First Intermediate Period. This era, lasting for about a century, marked a stark contrast to the preceding period of centralized rule and monumental construction. With the pharaoh's authority diminished, provincial governors, nomarchs, asserted their independence. They raised their own armies, built their own tombs, and challenged each other for control of resources. This period of internal strife disrupted trade, hampered agricultural production, and plunged Egypt into a state of near anarchy. However, the First Intermediate Period was not simply a time of chaos and decline. Around 2055 BC, a new dynasty emerged from Thebes in Upper Egypt. Mentuhotep II, a powerful ruler, defeated his rivals and reunified Egypt, ushering in the Middle Kingdom. This period, spanning from approximately 2055 to 1786 BC, witnessed a resurgence of pharaonic power, a renewed focus on artistic and cultural achievements, and a period of relative stability and prosperity. The Middle Kingdom pharaohs learned from the mistakes of their Old Kingdom predecessors. They implemented administrative reforms to strengthen central authority, curb the power of provincial governors, and prevent the kingdom from fragmenting again. They also invested heavily in irrigation projects to improve agricultural production and secure a steady food supply. The Middle Kingdom, despite its achievements, faced challenges that ultimately led to its decline. Internal strife resurfaced as powerful provincial governors once again challenged the pharaoh's authority. External threats emerged as well, most notably from the Hyksos, a foreign people from the Levant who migrated into the Nile Delta region. The Hyksos, with their superior weaponry and military tactics, conquered much of Lower Egypt, bringing an end to the Middle Kingdom around 1786 BC. They established their own capital at Avaris in the Delta and ruled over much of northern Egypt for over a century. This period of foreign rule, known as the Second Intermediate Period, marked another era of division and instability. The Second Intermediate Period came to an end around 1550 BC when Ahmose I, a ruler from Thebes, defeated the Hyksos and reunified Egypt under his rule. This event marked the beginning of the New Kingdom, a period of unprecedented power, prosperity, and imperial expansion. The New Kingdom pharaohs, determined to prevent future foreign invasions, built a powerful army and embarked on a series of military campaigns that extended Egyptian control far beyond its traditional borders. Thutmose III, one of the most powerful New Kingdom pharaohs, led his armies south into Nubia, conquering the region and establishing Egyptian garrisons to secure valuable trade routes and resources. To the east, New Kingdom pharaohs like Seti I and Rameses II campaigned in the Levant, clashing with the Hittites, a powerful empire based in Anatolia, for control of trade routes and territory. These campaigns, though costly, expanded Egyptian influence and brought wealth and prestige to the New Kingdom pharaohs. Despite its impressive achievements, the new kingdom was not immune to the forces of decline that had plagued earlier eras. By the late 13th century BC, internal strife, economic woes, and external threats began to chip away at the foundations of the empire. The seeds of discontent were sown, and the once mighty new kingdom teetered on the brink of collapse. One of the primary factors contributing to the new kingdom's decline was the growing power of the priesthood of Amun. Over the centuries, the Amun priesthood had amassed vast wealth and land holdings, rivaling the pharaoh's own resources. This accumulation of power led to a dangerous rivalry, with the priesthood challenging the pharaoh's authority and undermining the stability of the state. The once mighty new kingdom finally crumbled in the 11th century BC, ushering in the Third Intermediate Period, an era characterized by political fragmentation, foreign incursions, and a revival of earlier artistic and religious traditions. Egypt, once a dominant force in the ancient Near East, found itself increasingly vulnerable to outside influence. During this period, several foreign dynasties, including the Nubians from the south and the Libyans from the west, gained control of parts of Egypt. The Nubian pharaohs of the 25th dynasty, hailing from the kingdom of Kush, even managed to reunify Egypt for a brief period, bringing about a renaissance of art and architecture inspired by earlier Egyptian traditions. However, the Third Intermediate Period was marked by constant power struggles and shifting alliances. The fragmentation of the Egyptian state created a power vacuum that foreign powers were eager to exploit. In 332 BC, Alexander the Great, the Macedonian king who had conquered much of the Persian Empire, arrived in Egypt. Hailed as a liberator from Persian rule, Alexander was crowned pharaoh in Memphis, marking the beginning of a new chapter in Egyptian history, the Ptolemaic period. Following Alexander's death in 323 BC, his vast empire was divided among his generals, with Ptolemy the Soter, one of his most trusted commanders, establishing himself as ruler of Egypt. The Ptolemies, a Macedonian Greek dynasty, would rule Egypt for nearly 3 centuries, presiding over a period of relative peace and prosperity. The Ptolemies, though foreign rulers, were astute politicians who understood the importance of respecting Egyptian traditions while also introducing elements of Greek culture. They adopted Egyptian titles, participated in Egyptian religious ceremonies, and commissioned the construction of temples dedicated to Egyptian gods. At the same time, the Ptolemies founded new cities such as Alexandria, which became a renowned center of learning and culture, attracting scholars and artists from across the Hellenistic world. Under Ptolemaic rule, Egypt experienced a fusion of Egyptian and Greek traditions, resulting in a unique hybrid culture. The Ptolemaic dynasty came to an end in 30 BC with the death of Cleopatra VII, the last Ptolemaic ruler, and the Roman conquest of Egypt. Egypt, with its fertile Nile Valley and strategic location, became a vital province of the Roman Empire, serving as a major source of grain and other resources for the Roman world. Under Roman rule, Egypt experienced a period of economic prosperity and stability. The Romans, like the Ptolemies before them, recognized the importance of maintaining order and ensuring the smooth flow of grain shipments to Rome. They implemented administrative reforms, improved infrastructure, and maintained a strong military presence to deter rebellion. However, Roman rule was not without its challenges. Egyptian resentment towards Roman taxation and cultural insensitivity occasionally erupted into rebellions which were brutally suppressed by Roman legions. Moreover, the introduction of Christianity into Egypt led to religious tensions and conflicts between different faith communities. Despite these challenges, Roman Egypt remained a vital part of the Roman world for centuries. Its fertile fields continued to feed the Roman populace, and its strategic location made it a key link in the Roman trade network. However, with the decline of the Roman Empire in the West, Egypt's fortunes would once again be intertwined with the shifting sands of power in the Mediterranean world. As the Roman Empire waned, a new force emerged from the Arabian Peninsula, sweeping across North Africa. This new force was Islam, proclaimed by the Prophet Muhammad in the early 7th century AD. Within a few decades, Islam spread rapidly, carried by Arab armies. In 640 AD, an Arab army led by Amr ibn al-As crossed into Egypt, then a Byzantine province. The Byzantine rulers, weakened by internal strife, couldn't withstand the Arab advance. Alexandria fell to the Arabs in 642 AD, marking a turning point in Egyptian history. Islam's message of monotheism and social justice resonated with many Egyptians. Islam transformed Egypt's religious and cultural landscape. Ancient traditions blended with Islamic influences, creating a vibrant culture. Section 2. The flowering of Islamic Egypt, from the Fatimids to the Ottomans. The centuries following the Arab conquest saw successive Islamic dynasties shaping Egypt's history and culture, from the Fatimids, who established Cairo as a center of Islamic learning, to the Mamluks, who repelled the Mongol hordes. Egypt remained a vital center of the Islamic world. Section 3. The Seeds of Modernity, Egypt under the shadow of Napoleon. By the 16th century AD, the Ottoman Empire, centered in Constantinople, had emerged as the dominant power in the Islamic world. In 1517 AD, the Ottoman Sultan Selim had conquered Egypt, integrating the country into the vast Ottoman domain. In 1798 AD, Napoleon Bonaparte led a French expeditionary force to Egypt, aiming to disrupt British trade routes. Napoleon's invasion exposed Egypt to new ideas and technologies from Europe, planting the seeds of modernization. Although Napoleon's forces were eventually defeated, his brief occupation had a lasting impact. The 19th century marked a turning point in Egyptian history, a period of profound transformation as the country grappled with the challenges of modernization, foreign intervention, and the struggle for national independence. From the ambitious reforms of Muhammad Ali Pasha to the rise of Egyptian nationalism and the eventual end of British rule, Egypt embarked on a tumultuous journey towards self-determination. Muhammad Ali Pasha, an Albanian Ottoman officer who rose to prominence during the chaos that followed Napoleon's invasion, emerged as the de facto ruler of Egypt in 1805. A shrewd politician and a ruthless leader, Muhammad Ali embarked on an ambitious program of modernization, aiming to strengthen Egypt's military and economy, reduce its dependence on the Ottoman Empire, and establish himself as the ruler of an independent Egyptian state. Muhammad Ali's reforms touched every aspect of Egyptian society. He modernized the army, introducing European-style training and equipment. He established new industries, including textile mills and sugar refineries, aiming to reduce Egypt's reliance on imported goods. He also reformed the education system, establishing new schools and sending Egyptian students abroad to study science, engineering, and medicine. While Muhammad Ali's reforms strengthened Egypt's position in the region, they also came at a cost. His ambitious modernization projects required significant resources, leading to increased taxation and forced labor. Moreover, his expansionist ambitions, which included campaigns in Sudan and the Arabian Peninsula, brought him into conflict with the Ottoman Empire and its European allies. The story of Egypt is a testament to human resilience and creativity. From pharaohs to modern Cairo, Egypt has witnessed empires rise and fall. A unique spirit shaped by the Nile and a glorious past persists. The pyramids inspire awe, drawing visitors worldwide. Egypt's legacy extends beyond ancient wonders. It includes rich Islamic art and scholarship. The Nile, Egypt's lifeblood, symbolizes resilience. The spirit of the Nile will shape Egypt's destiny. The history of Egypt is a complex tapestry woven with threads of continuity and change, resilience and reinvention. From the first pharaohs to the 20th century revolution, Egypt has seen unity, fragmentation, prosperity and hardship. Egyptians have adapted, absorbing outside influences while preserving their identity. Ingenious irrigation methods harnessed the Nile, creating a thriving civilization. Complex beliefs and rituals centered around the pharaoh provided order and purpose. Periods of instability led to reinvention, new dynasties and artistic styles. Foreign powers brought challenges and opportunities, leading to cultural exchange. The arrival of Islam marked a profound turning point, blending with existing traditions. Today, Egypt stands at a crossroads, grappling with the challenges of a rapidly changing world. The country is undergoing significant transformation, seeking to define its place in a globalized world. The lessons of Egypt's long history offer valuable insights for navigating the sands of time. Balancing cultural heritage with modernization is a key challenge. Tourism relies on ancient monuments, but uncontrolled development can threaten these treasures. Addressing social and economic disparities is crucial for stability. Egypt's future will be shaped by its role in the Arab world and its relations with neighbors. The challenges are significant, but Egypt's history of resilience provides grounds for optimism. As Egypt navigates the 21st century, it can draw strength from the enduring spirit of the Nile.